Enjoy the Dino-Riders!
So hello everyone, today I'm going to review my Dino-Riders Triceratops set, all decked out with his armor. So here he is. So this, I have to admit, this is really an awesome toy for me. Now I didn't get this when I was a kid. I got him more recently than that, when I was already an adult. As I mentioned before, I'm a big Dino-Riders fan, but by the time I started to really like them, all they had left were the Ice Age, and they were slowly phasing out. So I wasn't able to get this guy, and I think it was pretty expensive when I was a kid, but no, he was pretty expensive now, but I was able to get him piece by piece. I got the Dino first, and then I got the armor little by little, or I think I got the armor in one go, but it wasn't really that expensive, but separate from the Triceratops. Then I got some of the riders separate too. So in this case, my riders aren't his real riders, but I'll be getting to that in the review. But overall, here is the set. So let's just take a quick look at it. This is the side view, the top view with that awesome satellite, and the front view with this brain box. Very sweet, very nice. So there he is. That's my Dino-Riders Triceratops. So I'm going to be reviewing it bit by bit. This right here is the dinosaur it comes with. This is the Triceratops. He is blue. So if you guys watch the show, the Triceratopses in the show weren't blue. They were sort of sandy yellow, if I remember. And the Rulons were the ones riding them. So this is the toy though. I think the toy came first, so he's kind of blue. But it looks okay. It looks okay for me actually. So let's take a quick look at him. So he's got different shades of blue and blue-green, which are cool. He's got this sort of gray that slowly transcends to gray-blue to light blue to kind of green-blue over here. So Triceratops, three-horned face. Yeah, he's got three horns. He got a little nose horn and his top brow horns over here. So the head is freewheeling. He doesn't really have much articulation because he's motorized. And my motor, fortunately, still works. And there's his head, kind of a freewheeling head. He's got a stiff tail. The legs are on a mechanism, so you don't move them or you might break them. And as you can see, he's motorized. There's his on and off button, and his battery's in here. So I'm just gonna pop this off to show you. There's his battery. He runs on a Type C battery. Mine's on a Duracell, so it lasted pretty long so far. But that's where his battery is placed. Overall, this thing's pretty good in the sense that it's not the most accurate Triceratops. I think the Triceratops is now a little bit more accurate, but this guy's good enough. He's got scaly belly, scales all around. You can see the texture, these nice little plates. I like the way the color changes, from dark to light, these little hues of color. I love that. He's got this here ridges in his back. He's got this pointy one because this supports where you place the armor. So I'll be getting to the armor a little bit later, but that's what that's for. And overall, man, it was a dream come true to get this guy. I think I won this guy in a bid, and I was like the only bidder, so I got really lucky. So that's cool. And he's so awesome when I got him because he wasn't really that expensive and he looks nice. I actually have another Triceratops, which is the non-motorized version from my childhood, and he can fit the armor too. So if you want, that could come in useful if you want a more static dinosaur. But anyway, let's get on to the movement. So you flick the button over here. Pretty noisy motor, but pretty durable. I mean, it lasted since the 80s. This guy is Series 1, 1987, if I'm not mistaken, or 1988, the toy, yeah. First series of Rulons, and look at them go. So that's nice movement over there. I like the way he doesn't really drag his feet, and that he lifts his feet, sort of. Because I got a lot of Zoids, and some of them kind of shuffle sometimes. So this guy looks like he lifts his feet. Very ponderous, and I like the way his head moves side to side with a freewheeling head. So that is it. So sort of, you gotta time it when you stop, when you flick that power off button to get him on a good stance. So good timing. His stance is pretty good. Looks like he's just about to go forward. So I'm now gonna get to his other bits in a few. This is his saddle. Oh, let's put this one aside first. So you're supposed to assemble its armor over there. So normally this entire thing can be disassembled, but this one required some repair over here, so I'm not gonna pull that out. But normally this thing comes out. So this is his rear saddle. He's got this chair. So this is partially disassembled. So this goes right on top of the dinosaur, kind of like this. And as you can see, yeah, this is freewheeling, so it kind of goes over his tail. And this one, this little ridge over here, helps secure this piece of armor. So let's get on to the bits. So this is the main saddle. It's got these really cool big heavy side guns on the side. It's supposed to come with a belly band, but unfortunately with these Dino-Riders, the belly band, disintegrates over time. So a regular rubber band will do. So it's pretty easy to assemble this guy. You put these big main guns over here. You put this satellite dish over here. When I was a kid, I actually thought this was for communication, but I watched the cartoon over and over again. This is actually like a laser gun. I remember in Empire Strikes Back, there's kind of like a satellite-looking thingy, and then but somehow absorbs energy here and just fires a beam. I guess this is the same thing, but this is a gun. These are his heavily armored guns. So it's a little bit oxidized, but it's still in good condition. Can still move. So that's that. This one is the main saddle. So you could take this part apart too. So you can slide that over there. The rider fits over here. You put it over there. Comes with two guns on the side, so you stick that one in like that. This rear gun has provision for two more guns. So I'm going to show it to you in a few. So here it is. There, you stick this gun over here, that gun over there. I like to think of it as his rear guns, because when you put it on the dinosaur, those are like his rear guns. So let's put this one here and this one here. That's more or less his armor. You just have to put the other one over here and put it over the dinosaur. So let's look at the armor a bit. So as you can see, he's heavily armed. He's got, two guns here, making it 4, 6 with these two, 7 with this, and another 2, 9. So he's got 9 shooting laser thingies all in all. So looks pretty cool. I mean, look at that. Nice armor. Goes over the dinosaur just like this. So later I'm going to fasten it some more, but just put it over there. I'm going to fasten the rubber band later. But put that one over there, and that's how he looks. Pretty well armored. And you put his brain box, which is very, fits very snugly over his head. And now you have him pretty armored, and he looks awesome with that saddle and all. Because when I get this guy, I get the vibes of a tank. Because look how armored he is. He is a tank, except for the fact that the pilots are dangerously exposed. But, never mind that. But you just gotta appreciate how armored it looks. So as I said, I got these things separately because altogether this guy is pretty expensive. But I believe I won these things in... I was fortunate enough to win these in bids, I believe, in low price. You can get them over at eBay. Not too many bidders, so I was able to get them or something like that. Or I wasn't expecting to get them, but I did. And so when I got them for the price I got this guy for, I was so happy. And here he is armored up. Next, I'm going to show you the riders. When in the show, his riders are Hammerhead, which is kind of like a hammerhead shark-headed dude. And, a cobra-headed dude named Sidewinder. Unfortunately, I don't have them, but I got these guys instead. I don't have them yet. Maybe I'm going to get them. But instead, I made his riders. These guys. So this guy over here is my Rulon rider for my Triceratops. This is Krulos. This guy really comes with the T-Rex, but I got this guy separately, and he's pretty good. And Krulos is technically like a frog. He's the emperor of the Rulon Empire, which is the bad guys in the Dino-Riders show. So this guy got sucked back in time together with the good guys who are the telepathic Valorians, and he wants to go back to his own time. But what he did was, he brainboxed some dinosaurs and to weaponize them to help conquer the Dino-Riders. So this over here is Krulos, or Lord Krulos. As you can see, he is a frog. Let's get that camera on over there. He is a frog. He actually looks different in the cartoon. In the cartoon, he looks more froggish. Here he kind of looks lizardy. It's kind of like an evil Kermit. So this is my figure over here. You can see the movement. Leg goes all the way up. Goes all the way back like that. They bend over here. He's perfect for sitting, so he sits like that, and he's got There, his arms go up and down only. So minimal movement, but at the time this had lots of movement in the 80s. So this guy, I remember the cartoon. So as you can see, he's kind of thick. His thighs are kind of thick. When I remember the cartoon, this guy was had a really raspy voice. He was like voiced by Frank Welker. Wow, Frank Welker. I mean, he was all like,
Dino-Riders!
and all that.
Get those sniveling Dino-Riders!
I remember him from that very hoarse voice. And yeah, he was like the emperor of his time. So let's get a little look at him. He's got these nice vents in the back. As I mentioned, he's thick. Some thick thighs, wide shoulders. This is a 2.5-inch figure, and he's actually in some sort of containment suit. Because I think, like in the storyline, this guy is some sort of amphibious alien, so he needs water constantly. Let me get my camera focused. So yeah, he needs to have water. So this thing actually contains his life support slash reverse aqua suit, because there's water inside, so it won't dry out. So I made this guy ride my Triceratops. It isn't too far from the truth because, well, in one episode he lost a T-Rex, so he had to ride the Triceratops. So that's that. Moving on, the other figure, since the Triceratops can ride 2 figures, is this guy. This guy is Cobras. Now, like I mentioned in the show, in the toy, he's supposed to ride with Sidewinder instead, which is just a repaint of this guy. You know, Sidewinder and Hammerhead are the real riders, but for me, I decided to put Krulos. So Cobras' articulation is the same, except he's got the extra fact that he can twist his head around all the way back, 2.5 inches. Has nice sitting articulation. That's what his articulation is well suited for sitting. And the detailing of these figures are nice in the sense, I mean, at least for me, I mean, he's got this red, he's got green for his hands, he's got different shades of green for his head, his cobra face, and he's got these nice little colorations over here. Now, as mentioned, this guy came with Krulos. I don't have the T-Rex, but these are actually the guys who ride the T-Rex. So this is Cobras. Say hello, Cobras. Say hello, Krulos. So here they are, together. Now back to this awesome Dino-Rider Rulon set. Let's take a look. So this is him over here, all armored up with Krulos seated there on the main saddle up front, and Cobras on the back. I kind of think about it this way when I play with this or display it. It's like this guy has the anti-aircraft lasers for shooting down some Dino-Riders who are airborne, and this guy's got the main gun for taking out, taking out Stegosaurus or Taurosaurus. He's got it right here. And then Krulos could, fire up at anything with these guns over here. And then this one, I kind of like to imagine it's a powerful satellite gun. So there's got to be a reason why it has this dish. So overall, this is an awesome set. I like the way it looks. So you can see it over here. Let's turn the motor. There he is. That's how it looks if he's charging at you. So look at that. Ah, it looks awesome. So for me, I kind of get the vibe that this guy's like a tank. And if you watched the show before, these guys flank the T-Rex usually. I mean, there are a bunch of these guys. This is like the mainstay Rulon force. Let me just push this here. Yeah. This is like one of the mainstay Rulon armaments or Rulon. I like to think of it as like their main tank. It's like their version of an Abram or a main battle tank. And the Monoclonius and all the others are just supports for him. And overall, this guy's support for the T-Rex. The T-Rex is one of a kind. He's the only guy that, he's the only T-Rex in their army. But the Triceratops, there's a lot of them in the Rulon army. And overall, it looks pretty decent, pretty good. I find him quite heavily armored because of these huge plates of metal. The dinosaur is not super protected in a sense, a lot of exposed parts, but these things look cool. I just feel like these things are like a powerful set, a powerful opponent to have if you're a Dino Rider. And then with Krulos manning it, it's supposed to be Hammerhead, but you can put any rider you want, and I don't have Hammerhead yet, so I put Lord Krulos on it. So my thoughts on this, it feels like a main battle tank if it were for the Dino Riders. And in the show, he comes out a lot. Like, he's one of the more featured Dino Riders. So this is mine. So overall, I'd say it looks very good with all the armor on. And if you want to get this guy, you could do it the way I did it. You could kind of hunt down piece per piece. I was just lucky enough that I got if I remember right, I got these all in an armor, all in a set. This entire armor piece in a set, and the dinosaur was individual, and then the riders were separate. So, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to have this, but I was never able to get it. So getting it now is kind of like felt good. Something I've always wanted, and it didn't disappoint. It moves well so far, and it looks good. It looks like a nice display piece, and even a play piece. Because I have to admit, sometimes I feel like playing with this guy a bit. Kind of like pick him up and move him around. It's pretty cool. Got a lot of good things to say about this because this is something I really wanted a lot when I was a kid. I kept imagining, I wish I could get this guy, and at least finally I got him. There he is. So eventually I might get Sidewinder and Cobras, but yeah, for now, I'm actually okay with Krulos riding him. So my thoughts for this are, if you're a Dino-Rider fan, it'd be nice to get this, because this is like one of the main members of Rulon's army. He's always there. I mean, in a lot of the episodes, he's always there. So he's a mainstay. And for me, he seems to be a representative of Dino-Riders for the Rulons. Kind of like their mascot for me. I mean, I know the T-Rex is the main guy, but this guy reminds me of the typical number 2 guy. He's always there. So I'm really glad I have this particular Dino-Rider set. For a sense of scale, this is him with my Dino-Rider Deinonychus, or Deinonychus. I've heard some people call it Deinonychus. I prefer Deinonychus. Scales up pretty well. This is Sky. You can imagine he's going after Krulos and be like bouncing around, and Krulos is all like,
"You meddling Dino-Rider!"
shooting at him. So nice to play with them this way. I think they scale up pretty good. I heard that the Dino-Rider is around. Dino-Rider. I heard that a Triceratops is around 30 feet. Deinonychus is around 12 or 15. Pretty good scale. They look good together. Awesome. They look good making them fight each other. So roughly these things are like 1/24 scale, roughly. So if you have a 1/24 car, that's more or less how big they are. So as you can see, they look awesome together. Krulos and his Triceratops, Sky. So probably I'm thinking of getting Hammerhead and Sidewinder eventually to sort of complete this, but I'm pretty happy that it has Krulos right now. So they look awesome. You could play with this, you could display them, play with them. They look awesome together. And this guy is actually my favorite Dino-Rider set right over here. At the making of this video, I got the Deinonychus and I got a bunch of Ice Age. But this Triceratops, I like a lot. You can see it right over here. And yeah, I've got a lot of good things to say because this is like destiny fulfilled for me to have this guy. So yeah, he's a sweet, sweet toy, and I'm glad that mine's in relatively good condition. There's nothing really broken per se, except, if they were repaired, so that's good for that. So overall, it's a great set. It's expensive if you get it boxed. It's better to actually get it per piece if you can. But overall, if you're a Dino-Rider fan, I think you should have this Triceratops, or you should try to get it. Not unless you really don't like it, but yeah. It's a great representation of the toy line for me. So, I hope you enjoyed the review, and yeah. So, thanks for watching, and until next time.
Destroy the Dino-Riders!